our 19th Azure Standard drop is officially over. Everyone's picked up their beautiful items and they're on their way home. We're here just 12 miles north of St. George in Dameron Valley. Our drop name is Protective Diet St. George. Jerry and I are the owners of ProtectiveDiet.com. It's an educational program to adopt a whole food plant-based diet, and Azure Standard is a great support system to us. So I want to show you my Azure Standard haul this month. Our dry stock pantry is very deep and stocked, but Jerry is an applesauce hound. He loves it on his oats in the morning.
Oh yeah.
And we use it in a lot of baked items because we cook oil-free. So we use that as a replacement. And my pantry, that was starting to run low. So this is going to go into our pantry. Most of our grains and everything like that we have stored really deep, and we stocked up on those before increases started happening. So this month is going to look a lot different because my garden, I built a farm here. We moved here 2 years ago, and a year and a half, and I built quite the farm. So we've had a lot of produce. I did a lot of canning, a lot of freezing, a lot of storing, and so now I am dipping into Azure Standard's farm. They're fresh supplies. Come on with me. So I have a lot of potatoes coming out of my garden, but I wanted to pick up theirs because last year I didn't grow potatoes. It was my first year here. I wasn't sure about it. This year I did, and they are beautiful, but Azure Standard's potatoes were so gorgeous, and of course organic, and they kept for such a long time in my cold garage that I ordered another 50-pound bag, and it comes in these 10-pound bags, so if I wanted to I could share some with friends and neighbors. But Jerry and I, we eat a starch-based plant-based diet, so we go through a lot of potatoes. And I want to show you what else I have here. So where should I even start? I bought a lot of applesauce, but that's because our apple blossoms here, they froze before they got to set fruit this year. So I also bought apples because I knew that Azure Standard would not disappoint. I've never received anything from them that I wasn't excited about, not any of their produce. It's like they pick the best and send it to us. And these are from Washington, organic Fuji apples. And I bought, oh my gosh, how many pounds is in here? A lot.
40, I believe.
40 pounds. So I could make some sauce out of these if I don't get to eating all of them. But, you know, on a protective diet, we eat a lot of crumbles, apple pies. Oh my gosh, that okara pie crust, it's to die for. So then, let's start over here. I had cabbages coming out of my garden. I had summer cabbages this year, and I had fall cabbages. And I harvested the fall cabbages in the beginning of October, and I made them into sauerkraut. And with Protective Diet, we do these fast ferments in small batch ferments in quart jars. So I am going to, because I knew Azure Standard's cabbage would be amazing, I ordered, it's coming from, I always like to look at where their produce is coming from too. Sometimes it comes from Azure's family farms, sometimes it comes from other neighboring farms, and this one is Mustard Seed Farms from St. Paul, Oregon, and this cabbage is gorgeous. I got 40 pounds of green cabbages and 40 pounds of red cabbages, and I'm going to make ruby red kraut. And this time around, because this is going to be a large batch ferment, I am going to ferment this slow and long. Normally we ferment, if you're familiar, if you're in the Protective Diet education community, you know we do these small batch, 1 week room temperature ferments, and then we roll them into the fridge for long-term storage. This I'm going to do long-term storage in my garage for the winter and do them in larger batches so that I don't have to do a speedy room temperature ferment. So this is a newer process for me, but the old-fashioned way is what I'm doing. So Jerry and I, just to give you a little backstory, if you're new to us and new to our YouTube channel or our Instagram or Facebook page, Jerry's from Wyoming. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, the first 43 years of my life. And then I moved with Jerry to San Diego after we got married. And we lived in coastal San Diego. So we got used to the produce there. It was amazing. And now Azure Standard is supplying us with organic oranges. So beautiful. I can zest that zest right into my cranberry orange loaf or muffins or my mulled wine, the non-alcoholic version, and not worry about the peels or the skins. This is coming straight from the farm, and this one's from California, Kingsburg, California, and delivered straight to my door or straight to a town near you if you don't have a drop, or consider being a drop coordinator. It's a great way to build community. We have met so many like-minded people that are into incredible produce, stocking a healthy pantry of grains and organics. So we've built a lot of friends through this. Some of our closest friends here in Utah since we moved here, we met them at our drop. So I have to show you. Oh, then after 6 years in coastal San Diego, we moved here to the high desert so we could build a farm, build a small personal farm so we could share and learn and grow ourselves. And we're doing more than growing outside. Now we're growing hydroponically inside. I have a lettuce grow room. You have to check out that video. So I want to show you how their herbs come. So if you're considering ordering herbs, I knew I was going to be impressed, but I am so impressed because if you've been in the protective diet community, you know how I store my herbs for 2 to 3 weeks in the fridge in an herb box. Check out this video here for storing herbs in an herb box. It's a beautiful way to store them and keep them fresh, no waste. I have to show you how impressed I am with how these arrived. I opened these up really quick just to take a look at them, and they're fantastic. So I got parsley and I got cilantro, and it came 3 bunches, and it looks like they washed them and dried them and wrapped them just like I would instruct you to wrap them in a towel after washing and drying them in your herb box. They did the same. These look better than fresh picked because of how they stored them for transport. Azure Standard, thank you so much. I'm so impressed. It's just beautiful. Parsley, and I'm going to keep these fresh for 3 weeks if I don't use them all in the first week. Because, you know, protective diet falafel, right, Jerry?
Oh, yes.
One of our favorites. So, look at this cilantro.
Mm-hmm.
It's like better than if I grew it. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's the way that they treated this. They washed it. It's clean. It looks beautiful. Maybe it's not clean, but it looks clean. I know that they soaked it, put it in water, let it dry a little, and then wrapped it up for us and got it to us looking better than the day they picked it. So, okay, what else do I have to show you? Come with me. Okay, I've got to show you this because you may have been shopping with Azure Standard for a while and you are not familiar with these drums. This is a 55-gallon drum, and those of you that have seen my deep pantry stocking lessons, you know I have these filled with Mylar bags, filled with Azure Standard grains and beans and all of my dry goods. So this one was filled with honey. So I'm going to have to wash it out. Azure Standard, they bottle and package some items so they store them in drums. Sometimes it's like soy sauce or it's vinegar. So it's different every time. And it is a little bit of a cleaning out, but It's definitely a great value if you can get one of these. Then you can Mylar bag some of your grains, and this is a nice airtight, watertight seal. So this one, we're pretty much stocked up on everything but the dogs. They're always in need of dog food, and if there's ever any shipping issues or delays, I don't want to be out of their favorite Wild Earth dog food. It's a plant-based dog food, and they are thriving on this product. So when we order it, we order a lot of it, and we put it in the basement in the drums, in the packaging that it comes in, just to keep it fresh, keep it from any little varmints getting to it. I don't want any mice eating my specialty dog food. So let me show you what else we received. Okay. So this is my pantry back here. You've seen all of this. Jerry got some steel cut oat groats because we were running low on those. We switched over to using the regular oat groats because we have a grain mill, so I make my own oat flour, and we have a flaker to make my own rolled oats. So that's nice. We only have to stock the oat groats, but Jerry loves the steel cut oats as a cereal. So he picked up some of those, and we'll put them in a bucket like the rest of our grains. And I want to show you these onions. I might need some help opening this package. There we go. So gorgeous as expected. I ordered the red onions, of course, because of that protective anthocyanin. And they're so beautiful and delicious. And these are beautiful. The skins are nice and tight. Thank you so much, Azure. I am so impressed. Of course. And all of these items that you see that I'm ordering in bulk, I want to show you where I'm going to store them so that they'll stay fresh. You can't just leave these in a warm place like near your wood burning stove or your fireplace or your oven or your hot kitchen if you're baking. You want to put these things in a cool place. And here we don't get super cold because we're in southwestern Utah. So my garage is cold, but it's not
freezing.
Let me show you. Okay. So out here in the garage, I need my jacket. It's chilly. But it's not like being outside where things would freeze. So I got this cabinet secondhand, and I put it out here just so that it would keep my produce clean. If Jerry's out here sawing something or chopping something, I don't want it to get all full of, there's always stuff out here. It's the garage. So last month, I want to show you what I have in here from Azure. Pomegranates. So these I have been enjoying fresh, and you've seen the video how I show you how to open these up in a big bowl of water, and all the pith just floats and the arils sink, and then I put them out on a dry towel and I freeze them, and I'm going to get to that this week and freeze some of these so that I have them throughout the year. And they're gorgeous, of course. And then down here, I have all of my garden potatoes. These are the potatoes that I grew. So I'm keeping them in this dry box. Do not wash your potatoes if you're growing your own potatoes, because that's going to lead to problems. You got to use them fast then. And I keep them dark and cool. And then in these buckets, I have all the tinier potatoes. So I sorted them so that when I'm cooking, it's just really easy for me to pick out what I want. These are the really tiny ones, but you can see we're getting to the bottom of these, and then I'm gonna hit into my Azure standard potatoes. And I wanna show you what we have over here. Check out the video that Jerry and I we've been putting together little videos to share with you about our worm farm, which is here in the garage. We moved inside so that the worms would stay warm. But we just did a worm farm clean out video to share with you. But that's about it. I want to show you what else I'm working on in the kitchen. So this is something that I have been enjoying. This is my veggie broth hot pot. And I've been starting my meals with this as like an appetizer because I have been running so cold. After I grew up in Chicago, but after 6 years in California and not having these cooler temperatures, I'm cold all the time. And I like to start off my meal with some of my plant-based broth mix and some veggies as like my soup appetizer. And because I've been eating salads, but I'm not that into the salads because I'm so cold unless I put them with hot mashed potatoes or a hot starch. And then I've been working on a totally fat-free, oil-free, plant-based oatmeal cookie. So Jerry and I have been playing around with this recipe. We've been averaging a double batch a day. No, this is one batch a day we've been sharing and eating a lot of oats as our starch energy because I've been testing these cookies. But I wanted to show you what's coming up in Protective Diet Education as far as a couple of the recipes go, and you can imagine what's going to be created out of what I received in my Azure Standard order. If you haven't looked into Azure Standard to see if there is a drop location near you and you find out there's a location and it's an hour away, do it. Do it and be friendly. Be early, show up a little early so then you can meet some friends. And you might even meet someone that is halfway to your house or close to your area, and then you can trade information and trade off who goes to the drop every month. We encourage at our drop friendships, communication, engagement. We ask everyone to arrive 10 to 15 minutes early. We have such an amazing organized drop, thanks to Jerry, letting everyone know if there's a change. We have these tiles that we write everyone's name on, and we use a dry erase marker with how many cases they have. That unload of the truck, it takes 10 minutes and everyone's on their way, but no one ever leaves. We stick around, we chit chat, we catch up with what's gone on with us the last month, and a lot of friends have connected through Azure Standards Drop. We thank you so much. And they pick up and drop off for each other. So you might meet someone that is 20 miles from your house instead of 50 miles from your house, and they might be willing to bring your items home with them, and then you can drive to their house, and then vice versa. You could do this for them sometime. So connect and engage, and put your zip code in Azure Standard. If you'd use our link, we'd appreciate it too. protectivediet.com/Azure, AZURE. And if you use our link, Azure gives us a $25 credit towards purchasing these beautiful items that I can use here in the Protective Diet Test Kitchen to create wellness recipes to share even further. Azure, what you're doing is rolling over and over and touching our life in so many different ways. We are grateful. Thank you so much. One other thing I have to show you that I got from Azure Standard that I love. You know, if you know me, you know I'm all about the sprouts. I have a lot of sprout lessons, sprout recipes, sprout classes. We use them in a lot of different recipes. And here I've got my sprouts from Azure Standard. I have alfalfa sprouts. These are your forever foods, not forever foods, but these are your staple items. If something should happen that produce gets to be just too expensive at our local grocery stores, I can always grow sprouts in the wintertime. I have radish sprouts. I'm sprouting some organic chickpeas. Oh yes. And green lentil sprouts that I got from Azure. All of my ingredients. And these are just sprouting lids on wide mouth quart jars. And then this is my favorite sprouting item that I got from Azure. And this
What's that called? The Sprout Master?
The Sprout Master. And this is the single one. They have some that stack. I really like this single one. And in order to grow straight bean sprouts, you need this sprouter. I've tried them all, and this one is great. I started these sprouts on Saturday, and it takes about 5 days to a week to grow really beautiful plump bean sprouts. But this tray is going to be full, and oh my gosh, we're gonna have some egg roll bowls. We're gonna have some Protective Diet oil-free egg rolls. We could have a stir fry. We could add these to our veggie broth hot pot. I love using sprouts like that, adding fresh sprouts to hot broth. Delicious. So thanks for carrying this product. I hope you continue to carry this, because I know a lot of my Protective Diet community friends are going to want this sprouter if they don't have it already. Take care, everyone.
And best of health.